MLB The Show made a tweet a couple months ago. I'll put it up on the screen right now. It just basically said, yo, you're not going to hear anything about MLB 21 until 2021. Well, now it's the new year. Everybody's kind of waiting around, kind of, desperate for any sort of news on the game. Like, we don't even have the cover athlete yet. We know nothing. Now, personally, I don't think we'll get any information until February. That's just my guess. That's just my prediction. Seems to make sense to me, but we could definitely get it sometime in the next couple weeks. But I really wanted to talk about the new installment of the game today, and I wanted to talk about some things I think the game needs to do to make it better and start expanding the game even more. Because MLB The Show is still very far behind Madden and 2K in terms of its community size, and I think adding a couple key features could really help the game grow. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 things or top 5 features, whatever you want to call it, that I think MLB The Show 21 needs to do to help continue push this game forward. Now, if you have something that I don't talk about in this video, I highly encourage you to leave it in the comments, because I do have a direct line of communication to SDS. Sometimes they watch my content, and a video like this will probably get their attention. So please leave whatever feedback you have in the comments. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I really want to see in MLB 21 is something that we've been asking for years now. It's one of the most highly requested features in the game, and that's create a stadium. One thing that's totally unique to baseball is the fact that every different stadium has its own identity. Fenway Park is nothing like Yankee Stadium. Wrigley Field is nothing like Minute Maid Park. Every stadium has its own unique identity, and that makes these stadiums special. And with all the different customization suites that we have in MLB The Show currently, with creative player, creative batting stance, Diamond Dynasty has its own customization, I don't see why we can't get Create a Stadium anytime soon. Now, before I go any further, I do have to say something. I am a Diamond Dynasty player. I don't really play Road to the Show or Franchise. And for Diamond Dynasty, I really don't want this feature to be in the game, to be honest, because I feel like people would get way too crazy. You'd be playing at stadiums that have the craziest dimensions and really stupid stuff, and it would get really old, really annoying, really fast. Now, I'm totally cool with like a stripped down version of this for Diamond Dynasty, where you have a couple stadiums with some preset dimensions. You could edit the bleachers and the colors of the stadiums and what you want to do with it, little things like that. But let's not make it too crazy to where every game is basically playing at like Polo or Forbes. But I would really love this feature to come into the game, because we're starting to go to next gen consoles. There's going to be a lot more power and a lot more capability in these consoles, and Create a Stadium was a feature that was in MVP Baseball 2005. That game came out 15 years ago. I really think we should have Create a Stadium in the game. I think it would be awesome. And that kind of leads me into my next point here, my number 2 thing I want to see, and that is a more dynamic and immersive franchise mode. Once again, I don't really play Franchise or Road to the Show, but there's kind of a reason for that. I find those game modes very boring right now. I find them very stale. It doesn't feel like much has changed. They tried to introduce relocation or whatever they called it in MLB 20, but it really basically was just taking Diamond Dynasty's customization suite and putting that into Franchise. And it wasn't really true relocation, because if you took the place of maybe the Angels, you couldn't choose a new stadium to play at. You could play at maybe like a minor league field, but if you wanted to play at like an actual stadium, you'd have to play at Angel Stadium or one of the other ballparks, which once again, each ballpark has its identity with its franchise. It wasn't really immersive. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all the ins and outs of what's wrong with Franchise. There's plenty of YouTubers out there that make really good Franchise videos. Ant Ortiz, RGS are just a couple to name. They could tell you a lot more about what needs to be fixed with Franchise, but at the end of the day, for an average player like me, or a guy that's more intrigued with Diamond Dynasty content, there's really not a lot going on with Franchise that really intrigues me, and I don't like that. I'd like to be able to play more of the modes and have fun and experiment with some stuff. So I'd love to see a new Franchise mode or an overhaul to the mode to make it more engaging, more exciting. And that's going to lead me into point number 3, and that's going to be a Road to the Show overhaul as well. A lot of you guys might not realize this, because once again, I'm a Diamond Dynasty channel. You guys come here for Diamond Dynasty stuff, but Road to the Show is MLB The Show's most popular game mode by far. And Road to the Show is always going to be a playable mode for people, because you jump into it, you're playing against the computer, you follow the journey of your player that you create through the minor leagues. It's a great my player experience. But if you play the game year in and year out, you would know it's kind of a little bit stale right now. The narrator thing was kind of cool when they introduced it in MLB 17. It added another layer of depth to the whole thing, but at this point, I just find it extremely boring. And when you compare it to a sports game like NBA 2K with how deep their my player player experience is, how fleshed out the story is. MLB doesn't compare. Now, I don't want Road to the Show to do exactly what 2K is doing. I just want more immersion. I want some more things to do. Give me some more off-the-field stuff. Make it like a true RPG experience. I just really want some excitement in Road to the Show. I don't feel like it's there right now. I don't know if they got to take out the narrator. I don't know if they got to overhaul some other stuff. I'm not sure exactly what the right answer is, but I think Road to the Show needs to be a little bit more engaging because, in my personal opinion, I find it kind of boring right now. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is a point that I've kind of been preaching for a while now, and I want to see some sort of co-op mode in MLB 21. You look at almost every other sports game, they all have some way to play with your friends. The only way to play with somebody in MLB The Show is to play against them. A lot of people throw around the idea of a sandlot mode where you create your player, you go around to different fields, you can play pickup games of baseball, 2v2, 3v3. Some people say 9v9. I think that would be an absolute mess. But I don't even care what it is, really. I just want a way to play with my friends. Like, I want to jump into a game with Kevin G.O.D. Him and I go 2v2 versus, I don't know, 2 other YouTubers or just 2 people that we're playing against. Like, the dynamic there, the entertainment, the camaraderie between the teammates is so much fun to watch. Once again, you look at all these other sports games. Madden, they have the yard. 2K has the neighborhood or the city or whatever it is now. NHL has threes, I'm pretty sure. Like, they all have ways to do co-op with your friends. MLB doesn't have anything. I think the closest thing MLB has is Home Run Derby, but even that, you're still technically competing against each other. Like, it isn't the same. I'm not saying this has to be some sort of, main mode that you gotta play to get rewards and stuff like that. I'm just thinking of like a fun casual mode that you can play, if you don't feel like playing head to head every single time. So I really think MLB needs to add a mode like that. Every other sports game has something, and hopefully they do something. If not this year, please in 2022. And the final point here for this video, or the final topic I want to cover, is I want to see some sort of advanced competitive mode. Even with ESL tournaments going on throughout the year where they've had like $25,000 prize pools, those are cool, but the rule sets are absolutely stupid. Literally, events have a more competitive rule set than ESL, so technically the most competitive game mode to play is ranked seasons. I would absolutely love to see a weekend league style mode or something that gives people who are at the top of the level of the game to, play against each other and try to get rewards, or, just add some sort of competition to the game mode every single week. Like, if you want to play online, you're basically hopping on to play ranked, events, or BR. But what if Friday through Sunday they had a weekend league where if you win 15 games, 20 games, whatever it is, you have a chance to get some really, really good rewards by the end of it? I think people would love that. It would add an element of competition, it would be on a good rule set, and MLB The Show needs to advance this game farther and farther along in its esports capabilities. And no, the gameplay is not perfect, but that doesn't stop any of the other sports games from having these big esports tournaments and weekend league style modes. So those are the big 5 things I really want to see in MLB The Show 21. I think if we get at least a couple of those, I think we're looking at a pretty good product. The gameplay is a whole other discussion. We'll see if that's good. But if you add these features and you continue to add things that people are excited about and continue to grow the game, it's only up from there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Remember, like I said, in the comments, let me know what you would want to see in MLB The Show 21. What features do you think would make the game better? I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I got you covered with all the MLB The Show 21 news as it's coming out. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.